I need a break from all this reality TV. Why can't I find something that's made just right for me? When you're talking, I need to ask somebody. Ask somebody. Talking. We usually park right here and love the valet service whenever we come here. Shall I? Hi. This is Diamond Ryan.
And ALFRIEDA Jetson.
And we're
Two Women Talking.
We partake of some of our delightful dishes that we picked up here at the casino. It boasts a wonderful buffet. And as you can see, we're going to partake of quite a few things here. Our salads, delicious gumbos, and refreshing drinks. And as always, we begin our morning and our day with our Zija. Zija is one of our proud sponsors, is our Zija sponsor that puts us together and gets us out there so you can hear what Two Women Talking will bring it to you.
All right. That's right. Zija motto is drinking life.
Drinking life for the inner and outer beauty. We're having lunch here at the Hollywood Casino up on the second floor in their buffet. It is a great amount of food that they offer here for the dollar. It's very economical, very nice surroundings. We've got a wonderful panoramic view out here before us, and we'll share that with you in a moment. But what we try to do here is to go around town and bring the most interesting places for people to dine, date, or just to have a great meeting in an informal kind of setting. This looks delicious. I am famished. We're going to take a full day today to travel along the area and show you a little bit about our route and some of the places that we stop along the way. I wanted to show you some things about the movements and things I'm going to eat, though. This particular clip is a little bit old. It's from the Baton Rouge Post. And the Baton Rouge Post actually has a group in there that was called the 4th Ward Voters League. And these people here, this eclectic group of people, and some of it changed up. Certainly I was not there when it originally first came about. But the 4th Ward Voters League is a group of people who got together a little over 50 years ago and put together a plan that will soon become part of history with the Martin Luther King March.
Wow.
A lot of people don't realize that the first march actually began here in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I heard a while back, Jemison and
Mr. Reed.
Yes. Both were saying, everybody thinks it started in Alabama, but it started here in Baton Rouge.
It really did.
That's where it started at.
They came together, these groups of people who formed the wards in this community and different wards. And so the 4th Ward Voters League, we're a group of people who sat down at those tables. Mr. Johnny Johnson, let me see if I can get the names right. Mr. Willis Reed were one of the founders. They brought Mr. Jemison in later after he kind of heard about what these folks were doing. But there was a number of folks, and I'm going to bring those names back to you when we do a special follow-up on this subject. But there were certain business owners around town who lent their service stations, who lent their vehicles, and they pulled together to stop the bus boycotting the buses here first. Martin Luther King found out through Jemison when Jemison made a trip to Atlanta and talked with his good friend Martin at the time and convinced Martin to come back and talk to his group of people that he had been invited to talk to, which were the 4th Ward Voters League. And they met in Memorial Stadium and talked about how they would bring about the Baton Rouge bus boycott. And of course, at that time, there was a march from Covington to Baton Rouge. They marched all the way here. So they actually marched here before they marched on Selma or Montgomery. And this is where a lot of the people in our community don't really know their history because they haven't taken that journey. And we hope to bring those topics to the youth in our community.
That's right.
Hey, just two girls, two women talking.
We've got to educate our kids.
Got to educate the kids. They're the future. Posterity. It's all about passing on that legacy. And we hope that you'll join us on our journey as we do so. Okay, so we'll go more into the voters lead.
Okay.
Now this one here, this topic I'm going to bring up with you here, which is another one. This is another, and of course this particular paper post was March 20th issue of the Baton Rouge Press, 2003. I want to say something about the press. Mr. Willis Reed was the editor and the founding editor of the Baton Rouge Press. The Baton Rouge Press is over 50 years old in itself. Mr. Willis Reed was the first black man to have a newspaper here, actually to work for the paper in New Orleans before he started working with the press and starting his own here. And so this paper in itself is a bit old, and we'll talk a little bit more about Mr. Reed's journey and all the people that he's covered in the media as well. But while we're talking on the subject of some of our leaders and things that our people are doing in our community, I have another clipping, and this particular clipping is from the Morning Advocate. It's the Metro section, and it is from January of 2006, January 17, 2006 to be specific. If you go to your state library, you can pull up a copy of this and make a print for yourself. But this is actually going to, and you can't really tell it because it's a huge paper, but there's actually a picture in here. And this picture are a group of our supposedly black leaders in our community. And a lot of people don't know who our black leaders are. A lot of people don't know what they do. And sometimes even when you see them in print right here in the paper, it don't necessarily mean...
You still don't know who they are,
You don't know who they are. And it don't necessarily mean they're your leader.
There you go.
You need to find out how to get informed so you yourself can become informed and able to contribute to the community.
Well, you know, out of all of the people that are in here, I think I possibly know about 4 or 5 of them.
Okay.
You know, and so what we have Patricia Hayes Smith.
First row.
Lois Holden. Okay, is she the mayor?
Mayor's wife.
Oh, that's the mayor's wife.
Mayor's wife.
Oh, I knew it was a Holden.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't seem like the verse, but
Yeah.
you know, she's white.
Okay, President Kip Holden.
Okay.
Then we have Felton Anderson.
And then Mr. Felton Anderson is the founder of the Bottom Bash, and he puts on the Bottom Bash, which is Family Day outing every year in Baton Rouge, and all the community comes together. But he's standing right next to Miss Reverend Betty Claiborne. She's holding his hand, so he's actually holding hands with.
Well,
she's here, but you can't see her in the picture. But
Right.
that's Betty Claiborne holding hands with Felton Anderson.
and you know who else I see in here? I see the Mayor Baker.
Okay.
I don't know if he was a mayor at that time. Well, of course he wasn't. But anyway, here you go. You have the Mayor of Baker, Mayor Reno. Wow.
100 black men right there.
Yeah.
And who else do you see in there?
Let's see who else do I see in here. Well, is that Diamond Ryan over there in the corner?
I do believe it is.
Look at Miss Diamond Ryan
In
right
the corner,
here in the
peeping
corner
in there. I'm
there,
actually
peeping
holding
in there.
hands with Police Chief LaDuff at the time. And so I'm on the second row of the 100 Black Men. I'm with Miss Placide with the education. And I march each year to stand up for Martin Luther King and honor the legacy that he left for our community. And that ties into the former story that we talked about with the voters, Fifth Ward, and the march on Selma. And so we'd probably, if the weather wasn't bad and was permitting, we'd go down there and take a look at the Martin Luther King monument.
I was just going to ask you about that because I know you told me that.
Girl, it's
They
sad.
have his picture
It's sad.
on the ground.
On the ground.
And all the others, pictures are up high.
Everyone's on a pedestal except the doctor.
for Dr. King.
And they haven't even used a full quote of his quote. And there's nowhere in there that it says, I have a dream. So how are you supposed to come up and take a look at these things and not be able to remember the legacy he left? And so I'm challenging every one of those people's faces down in the little brick markers that wanted you to know that they did something to contribute to it. We're going to challenge them to raise that money up and contribute to take and build him a pedestal and get Mr. Dr. King's face down off the ground.
Correct, get him off the ground.
I mean, anybody could walk by and spit in his face or put their shoes in his
Or
face.
step on him, correct.
Okay? And we know who those people
My
are.
thing is this, is that a symbolism?
Girl, that's a hidden racism.
Come on.
Tom Joyner, that's a hidden racism.
That's right. Get him off the ground. Get him off the ground.
So it's sad that our state legislators and our public officials and our elected officials and the people that we admire in our community to stand up and speak for us have not recognized that is a tragic.
I mean, that's a horrible way to display
Horrible.
the leader of our country. Not of black people, but a leader of our country.
Our country.
Because what he went through helped all races.
All colors.
You know, whether you want to admit it or not. And I want to ask you another question. Whatever happened to the Martin Luther King Boulevard? in Baton Rouge,
Girlfriend.
Louisiana. Do I need to get you on your soapbox? Maybe not. Maybe
Girlfriend.
we need to do it another time because when she gets started,
Let me tell
I
you.
can't get her to stop.
I'm still trying to get them called the I-110 Expressway by its true name, which is the Martin Luther King Expressway. Even your traffic people won't call it when they tell you what the traffic's built up. Where is it built up at? So we really got to change our language in order. We're doing a lot of voter registration at this time. We are about 35 days out from re-electing our president. And so with that short time of window out there between voting, there's a lot of voter registration going on. And with voter registration, there really needs to be some voter education.
Correct.
Know who you're voting for and why you're voting for them. Don't vote just because of color, because they're the black woman or the black man. Don't vote because their Aunt Lydia always votes for them. Aunt Lydia probably got dementia and can't read no more. But the family always vote for their family. Their family doing good. Their children are on the leadership buses. The kids in your neighborhood under siege. So if you like where your neighborhood is, if you want more of the same, vote for the same people again.
Thank you.
I tell you, this is delicious. Our next stop. Thank you for joining us in at the Hollywood Casino. Again, I'm Diamond Ryan.
Now, Alfreda Judson.
We are
Two women talking.
Ask Somebody. Do you want to talk